I love this word submission. Submission for me is submit to a mission. In every bright side, there is a dark spot, and in every dark area, there is a bright spot. I leave people better than found. So this dopamine is because it's an anticipating reward chemical. It is not a happy chemical, but it's anticipating reward chemical. So we are continuously in the anticipation. What will happen? What will happen? What will happen? I'm waiting for something.
Hey there, I'm Sagar Soni. If you are a chronic overthinker, a wannabe productivity expert, and is having a hard time understanding how to squeeze productivity out of every waking minute, but also learn how to take a chill pill, then you are in the right place. Let's learn from successful people, YouTubers, book authors, podcasters, and every other stranger that I can get my hands on. Well, figuratively, let's learn how they balance their life. Welcome to Beyond the Speech. Welcome, Mr. Prantik. Thank you very much for joining me for this conversation. I know I've read your books and you discuss much in detail about how your life has been in that book. You're the author of Elements Within as well as Live Inspired. You're also a high performance coach and a speaker now. So with your experience, transformation, mindset shifts, and the way your life has changed after getting a mentor, you try to share your experiences and help others to unlock their full potential and live a more meaningful life. So I'm sure this would be a great conversation for my listeners.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sagar. Thank you so much for inviting. Yes, life was never the same after I met my first mentor, Sean. And it's amazing. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, let's dive into that. I think, from your book, I can see that you have been quite candid about your struggles with self-esteem back when you were just graduating high school and within college years as well. When you look back, what do you think was the root cause for those struggles? Were they societal or internal, or were they perhaps both?
It was both. Why societal? Because I come from a background where education was given the priority, and my father had 17 degrees in medical science. So I was always in comparison with my father. Your father is so well educated. What about you? Your father is so educated. What about you? He used to always be a gold medalist. What about you? So that was one thing. The internal factor was because the external support wasn't there. Internally, I wasn't strong enough to build myself to that level of self-esteem. So that the both things created conflict within me. And plus, I also got into comparison with my other friends. Oh, they are so lucky that they have good bikes, they have good cars, they have girlfriends. So that was another external thing. So a lot of things.
I see. Then that would also lead to having a lack of confidence, wouldn't you say so? Was that an issue for that too? I'm guessing it was.
Big time. I was very shy. I never came on the stage till my 10th grade. Rather, till my graduation, I did not come on stage. Only in the second year of graduation, there was a poetry competition. And because I write poetry, so I thought, let me take a part of it. And I went on the stage. There was a mic. I held my poetry. I did not even look at the audience. I was looking down on the paper. I read out my poetry and climbed down. Just because of the knack of writing good poetry, I heard a lot of claps, applaud. And while I was stepping down, I heard the applaud and I thought, can this be forever? So that is the thing. So that was one of the first step inspiration of getting on the stage all the time.
I see. So was that the pivotal moment when you realized that there is a lack of confidence and there is room for improvement? There is light at the end of the tunnel. So it wasn't just gradual over time. This was the pivotal moment.
This was the pivotal moment. I mean, because while I was climbing down, the judge who was there on the stage, he came on over the mic and said in Hindi that Prantik में उम्दा कवि होने के आसार नजर आ रहे हैं. Prantik is showing symptoms of being a very nice poet. So when he said that, and I heard that voice from behind, I was hearing the applaud. I said, ki, I need to be there on stage. I can't be shying off all the time from the stage. So I then decided, let me build up my courage, let me build up my self-esteem, my self-confidence to come over the stage. And after that, whenever there was a moment of coming on the stage, I was there. So that's how I built up.
Do you think this can be the part of it is fake it till you make it? So, or can you create it artificially? Or does it always have to grow organically from personal growth in many different aspects? And that's how, as a byproduct, you develop your confidence. What do you think is the right answer there?
There is no right answer, I'll say, but it's combination of all, or it works differently for different people. For me, fake it till you make it does not work because the thing is, I'm brutally very honest, so I cannot fake it. But what I have understood is I can fake my subconscious mind. Okay, I can fool the subconscious mind because the subconscious mind accepts everything. So fake it till you make it is to the subconscious mind, not the physically I can do. Like for example, if I'm not feeling well, I will say I'm not feeling well. If I'm sad, even if I don't say, you will see it on my face that I'm sad. So faking till you make it was not working for me. But I realized that subconscious mind, I can fake it. I can tell my subconscious mind, oh, I'm great, I'm confident, I'm speaking fantastically well. So I was faking this way. The third most important part where many people lack is understanding this part is they need to practice things. Okay, it's not just fake it till you make it. I can be faking, I can be showing off that I'm very confident, but it still needs practice. It still needs a script. It still needs to be rehearsed. It still needs to be practiced and then going over the stage. So
you think practice is the answer to developing confidence?
Any kind of, right? You need to practice for everything. Like for example, speaking was not thing because I used to stutter, I used to stammer. So I had to practice that also so that I don't stammer a lot. Then I had to practice my speech so that I don't use fillers a lot. I also observe a lot of movies. And I realized one thing. Like for example, if any of the actor has been given a script, okay, so something I relate to that movies is there is a script and there is a dialogue to each of the character in the script. And the beautiful part is that character does not move out of that. The actor does not move out of the character. It just operates as per the script. So I realized that if I operate as per the script and I practice my dialogue, then on the stage, I'll not miss out anything.
Okay.
So all these things worked out.
Okay. So if you think about it, does that mean that preparation is a huge key to achieving this level of confidence?
Big time.
Right? It's not just reps. It's also about preparation. Because if you practice the same thing looking at a mirror 100 times, then the first time you get on the stage, it's not your first time anymore. You already practiced it 100 times.
And that is faking the subconscious mind.
Okay. I see. If somebody is in that stage right now, let's say if they're in school or college or any other phase of life for that matter, and struggling with this, what advice would you give them? Would this just be that put in the reps and prepare, or are there other things that you would ask them, suggest them to practice? This is just from your experience because you have gone through it too. What would you tell someone like that who's struggling with that?
If they're struggling to come over the stage and they're struggling with the low self-confidence, low self-esteem, so all these things, first find a person who can build you up. Okay, why? Finding a mentor or having a mentor becomes very much easier because you don't have to, the learning curve becomes very short. Okay, so find a mentor who is very good in this. Like for example, it could be one of your professor, it could be one of your teacher, whom you admire as a very good speaker. I remember when I was in 12th grade, I was attending a tuition, and Professor Sadunke was my mathematics teacher in that tuition. He was an amazing speaker. Fantastic with mathematics. He knows, he's subject matter expert. He used to dress up very well. So I really like somebody who dresses up well. And third, he was very humorous. He made a lot of jokes during the mathematics class. And the best part is he was always having a smile on his face. Okay, morning 5 o'clock class, he's fresh, happy there. Evening 7 o'clock I was attending, he's fresh, happy there. So finding such a mentor who is good in his or her work, okay, so that will help. Secondly, taking while they're giving you mentorship, you need to follow blindly. Just do it whatever they are saying. Okay, this is something that I did with my mentor Sham. He said that you need to attend this seminar. I did. He said that you need to buy this book and read the book. Yes, I did. So I just surrendered, and I love this word submission. You need to submit to the mentor. Submission for me is submit to a mission. You both are working towards a mission, so that's very, very powerful. And of course, after you are mentored, after you are being coached, you need to do your own work also. Okay, Sham recommended me or maybe 5 or 10 books to read. Today I have a collection of 4,200 books.
Wow. Okay.
Because I started to study on my own. I liked the subject. Like for example, subconscious mind is the subject I liked. So what I did is, based on this, all the books that I could get my hands on, I got them. Okay, so I read all of them. So you need to also study your own, and mostly, if I have to say in one line, knowledge will always give you confidence.
Really? Okay.
I'll just give you an example. Do you have a problem tying your shoelace today?
No.
No. But try to recall the first day when you're trying to tie your shoelace on your own. Okay, I mean, how to
I'm
make
sure.
loop. You're confused, right? You will not feel confident. Okay, but the more you did, the more you learned how to do it. Now, wearing your shoes, wearing your shirt, you don't lack confidence. Okay, so knowledge will always give you confidence.
Hey, quick pause. If you're enjoying this episode and getting value out of these conversations, I have a small favor to ask from you. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcast or Spotify or anywhere else, I would greatly appreciate if you leave a 5-star review. It's going to help more people discover this show. And if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to my channel and drop a comment with your thoughts. I would love to hear your take as well. So let's keep these conversations going. All right, back to the episode. Okay, that's good to remember. I think what you said about submitting to the ways that your mentor is providing, that is huge, that not everybody really understands. Because we have to understand that they are mentors or they are experts in their field for a reason. We call them experts for a reason. So if we have challenging opinions about this, yes, it's okay to raise them, but it's equally important to convey it, but then follow what they are telling you, because that's the whole point of them being in your life.
And you have selected them.
Right. Okay, yes, that's another thing. So now you owe it to them that you follow what they tell you to do.
True.
I see. Yeah. I see that from the book. You mentioned that I feel like you look at every opportunity, good or bad. You look at it, and that was not always the case, though. You always see that as an opportunity now, but that was not always the case. Can you share the story about knowing Sadhna, her uncle, that led to your mentor, Sham? What was that journey like?
That's one of my favorite story, and that's the first chapter of the book, because I really wanted to know people to understand how I met my mentor Sham. And the purpose of that chapter was to help people understand that there is nothing bad in this life. Okay, everything that happens is God is preparing you for something much more better. So that's my understanding, and that was the whole purpose. So if I have to tell in short, when I was born and I was 2.5 years old, I got my specs. So my specs number was -3. So you have to imagine I was 2.5, but my number was -3. So that's one. So that was a bad event. Then my father changed job and he came to Bijapur. So Bijapur in Karnataka in India is a quite dry city. So I was studying there, and in a Sainik school, that is a military school. And in my 4th grade, I suffered from asthma. Okay, second bad event. One who was so much good in sports is now not able to play sports. Okay, And when I went to 5th grade, the principal of that college, who was a major and a good friend of my father, he said that don't even think that Prantik should get into the secondary school because there will be an entrance test, there will be a physical test, and he will fail in both because he has specs and asthma both. So preferably select a different city. So we started to soul search, and then we found Nasik, Maharashtra. So when I came to Maharashtra, all of a sudden my confidence went very low, and from a 90% student, I went to 50% student. So my grades went low. And that low grades, obviously at that time it was troubling me. Today when I look back, it was the best thing that happened. So now when the grades were very low, I was scared. My parents were scared. They were more worried than me. And 10th I passed on a very low score. 12th I passed on a very low score. I did my graduation in computer science. So I thought of doing computer science. And exactly in that year, a new rule passed was they centralized the entire admission. That means there will be an entrance test and there will be a central board sitting based on your entrance exam and based on your 12th grade marks. The average of it, based on that, whichever college has a seat available, you will get an admission in that. So there was no choice of selection of a college.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, and because I was fantastic in grades, so I got the least selected college, that was in Nasik. It was that Nasik, and the only reason I selected that was the other college they were giving was too far. It was around 40 kilometers away from my place. Instead of going there, let me go to 10 kilometers away. So that was the only reason. So I went there, and I got the admission, and I met with an accident. So for 3 more months, I could not even go to college. I started to go to college only after November, or in the month of December, I started to go. And that time, my journals were incomplete, my notes were incomplete. I did not know what all subjects. I had no tuitions that I had enrolled for because I was home resting. And at that time, it was very imperative for me to get hold of some journals to complete my own journal. Okay. And because I'm very free-flowing kind of element, so I connected with few friends. And one of the friend I made was Sadhna, and another friend I made is Parul. I borrowed journals from them, sat whole night, completed, and give them back next day. So this kind of friendship I made with both of them. In the first year, Sadhna failed and she could not pass, and she left studies. I continued. I also took transfer to another college, and I started. After my graduation, after a few months, I received a call from Sadhna. Hi Prantik, I'm Sadhna here. I'm getting engaged. Well, that's great, fantastic. So why don't you come to my engagement function? So I went there. I met. She introduced to me her uncle Somnath, who used to live in Nasik only, but for their engagement function, he was there. And okay, fine. Sadhna's uncle, so respect. Okay, that was the whole idea. So after a few weeks, I get a call saying that there is a business seminar happening. Why don't you come and attend? I had no idea. I was sleeping. It was 11 o'clock in the morning. I was sleeping. What else to do? So I said, okay, fine. I'll just, by due respect to keep to Sadhna, I will come and attend. There I met Shah. Okay, and there I told him immediately that date, will you be my coach? He said yes. And that's how it started.
I see. So now, he was one of the speakers there?
He was one of the speakers there. So out of 3 speakers, he was one of the speakers. And now if you look back, specs is something I did not want. It happened to me. Asthma, I did not want. It happened to me. Both bad events for a very young child of a 10-year-old. So I'm facing this. And now, at that time, why did it happen to me? People complain about it. Then my grades started to go low. Again, people will complain, I was so intelligent, what happened? I got admission in such a college where I did not want to go. So see, so many bad events. And there could have been many also which I don't recall consciously now, and which I have not written also in the book. But these are the major events that I remember. Many people, they get to ask, if you get an opportunity to go back in the past and would like to change, what would you like to change? So people have some answer to change. But today, if you ask me, I will not change a single event. The moment I change anything, I miss out the chance to meet Shyam.
Right.
So that's the whole idea. So this is how I
I
met
see.
Shyam.
I see. See, you mentioned that yes, eventually the dots always connect when you look back. But let's say you are in the crappiest situation. Yes, you were a kid up until 18, you had issues, then you went to college, you still had issues. But now, because of so much experience and your own high performance coach career that you have, do you think that is there a way to look at a current crappy situation, or if someone comes to you and says that this is what's going on in my life, is there a strategy or a tactic that you can teach that allows you to see that imaginary picture in the future, that all of this is happening for a specific reason, you just don't realize it yet? Have you noticed that, or do you see any strategy like that,
Um,
or do you have to sit in discomfort until it passes?
See, there will be discomfort. I will not lie. I will say very brutally, honestly, is there will be discomfort, because if something is bad happening, you will be discomfort. Um, there is a situation that I am facing currently. Okay, I'm going through something. So something that came 2 weeks back. So I'm going through that. Now, from there, will something good come out of it? The answer is always yes. But when, I may not be able to say that. So the strategy is your own awareness. Okay, so let me ask you. So, Sagar, I wanted to think of an event around 5 years, 10 years back, something that you faced which was very bad at that point of time, and you really prayed God, you really were blaming that why did this happen to me? Do you recall such an event?
Yes, I do.
So, I wanted to keep that event in mind. And now, after 5 years, after 10 years, when you look back, have you ever thought of that event and you got this line, oh wow, that was the best thing that happened?
Yes, I can see that right now. I can see
You
that
can
right
see
now,
that, right?
just in the last 5 years.
Last 5 years. So, in the long run, it is always good. Only when you are there inside that event, you may not be able to see. Only in the long run, when you look at the bigger picture, it's there. So, the only strategy is you have such experiences in the past. Why do you think it will not happen now?
Oh, okay. So you have experience of it. You have proved it to yourself that things were bad and now it's got good. So it is going to happen again.
Rather, you didn't even prove yourself. The situation proved itself.
Right.
Right? So it's by default. So I call it as the YinYang Theory. So in every bright side there is a dark spot, and in every dark area there is a bright spot. Now, now you think over, Sagar, something that was so bad 5 years back when you were in that experience, how suddenly it turned out to be a blessing. It can't be.
Suddenly, no.
It can't be, right? So now,
No.
when you are in that bad moment, that bad event, that situation, there was a seed of some goodness about you, about the whole situation that will turn out to be good. Our work is to find that seed.
How do you find that?
That is the whole idea. Okay, what is so good about it? And that is where I ask question: what is so good about this situation that I am not seeing it?
Okay.
So that is a change of perspective. What is so good about this situation that is trying to teach me?
Okay.
What is there to learn from this situation? So once I think on those lines, okay, I start to see the seed of what could be the bigger opportunity here. That's
So
how
I think the key is to be aware of what's going on
Always.
and slow down so that you can really ask that question to yourself in that exact crappy moment.
absolutely.
I
Awareness
see.
is the key.
Okay. Okay. Now, in the time that you met your mentor, it's been years since then, and now you are a mentor to other people. What qualities do you believe are essential for a mentor?
Compassion and empathy.
Wow. Okay. I did not think of empathy, but okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you. Last night, somebody came to my place. The couple, okay, the lady lady lost her brother 4 months back in the month of October. And she has been in a blame that he died because of me.
Okay.
Because one day prior of that man's death, she was at her brother's place, and she said something which busted. I mean, the man busted out. Her brother busted out, and he got very angry. And next morning, got the news that he passed away. So she's thinking that only if I had not gone to his place, I would have not said those things. He would have been still be alive. She came up with that thing. Now the whole idea is, the man was supposed to leave on that day from this earth. Okay, it's just a coincidence that she was there at his place.
Right.
It's just a coincidence. Then I also told her, if you had not been there, you would have another regret. Oh, I could not meet my brother at the last time.
I see.
So both the ways. So mind is playing tricks with you. So after the 2.5 hour discussion, she came out with this thing. No, I was nowhere responsible for his, because he was having some disorder, some health disorder. So
Okay.
no, I was nowhere responsible for his disorder.
Right.
Okay. I was there. My intention was very clear. I wanted to help him, but he could have taken care of his own health.
Hey, quick break. If you're enjoying these conversations, you're going to want to check out my Substack newsletter. I plan on sharing bite-sized insights on productivity, slowing down, and really enjoying the work that you do. No fluff, just real talk, different actionable tips that I learn, books that I read, other podcasts that I listen to, or newsletters that I read. Basically, anything that pops in my head that doesn't necessarily make it to the show. So if you're interested, use the link in my show notes and sign up for my newsletter. Let's keep these conversations going. All right? Okay, back to the episode. I feel like in such situations, at least in my experience, I feel like time is the only thing that heals things. Nothing else does. No matter how many strategies, tactics, fake positive thinking, even if it's fake or real, I don't think anything resolves it as much as just the passing of time.
Not even time.
What is it then?
You choose to heal it.
Okay, so there comes a moment where you accept it, that this is the moment I decide to not loathe in this stage.
Because she decided last evening, from last 4 months she is carrying the pain. But in 2.5 hours, she got an awareness that, no, I'm nowhere responsible for my brother's death. So
Okay.
she chose to be happy. I'll just let me give you something example. Who are there in your family?
Me and my wife, my parents, my brother. He's married.
So let's talk about you and your wife. If your wife has decided to be unhappy, how can you make her happy?
I don't think so. I can. She has to accept within.
She has to choose to be happy. So even at this painful moment, somebody has to choose. That person has to choose. I accept whatever has happened. Now I choose to move on. I choose to be happy from this moment onwards.
Okay.
So it's not even the time, it's a choice. Now what happens is, why do we say time is the best healer? Because as the time goes on, at one point you start to accept it. Okay, something that happened.
Right.
So I'm just trying to tell, it's not the time, it's the acceptance. So once you accept it, the duration of that time will be very less.
I see. Okay. Yeah, that's something to think about. Yeah. So this was all about suffering. So let's switch gears a little bit. In the book, you talk about instant gratification. And I think that the point that you made was the temporary wave versus permanent tree analogy. It was fascinating. How do you think the modern culture, with its obsession with instant gratification, keeps people stuck in the wave rather than growing as a tree? You can explain this theory, because for people who have not read your book yet.
Yeah. Instant gratification and delayed gratification is something that I learned from Sham, and he emphasized that a lot. In today's culture, if I say, because everything started to be quick. Like, for example, let me start with the fast food. Look at the culture, the fast food. Fast food means you go wait for 2-3 minutes, the food is there, ready. So that fast food culture started to make people think that everything can be fast. People started to create technology so that it becomes a convenience. It is fast, like the mobile phone, the laptop, the computers. They created so that it becomes fast to help us. But now what has happened is, it has made us equally lazy.
Fair enough.
Right? Now that fast culture, everything quick. earlier the videos were very long. Now videos are just 30 seconds, 90 seconds. So it's very quick.
Right.
And because of this, there is a lot of dopamine which is getting injected in the brain. So this dopamine is, because it's an anticipating reward chemical, it is not a happy chemical, but it's anticipating reward chemical. So we are continuously in the anticipation, what will happen, what will happen, what will happen. I'm waiting for something. Like if you go to any of the meetings, people keep their phone like this. They don't keep it like this.
Right.
Right? Why? Because they keep it this way. They're anticipating, oh, something might come in. Some email from the client must pop in. So they are continuously anticipating. And in that anticipation, so something that will give them that kick, that hike in their brain, okay, is the dopamine. So that is how children are getting attached to video games, mobile games, different addictions, and also the procrastination are starting that way. So the instant gratification is this way. Now compared to the delayed gratification. So there was a test done many years back, the marshmallow test. It's a very famous test. So when I had read that in 2012, I read about the test. So a group of students were given marshmallows. They were kept marshmallows in front of them. And the students were said that we are out for 1 hour. If you don't pick the marshmallow, we'll give you 2 after we come back. And they went away, and they had cameras put, so they were observing the children. So there was marshmallow, and they were thinking, and few students, they picked up. And few students picked, observed, and kept it back. Okay, few people, they ignored, they were looking at something else, they avoided, not looking at the marshmallow. So a lot of things. So few students ate, few students did not eat. And now the study went over for the next 20 years. They started to observe these students.
Okay.
And they found out that children who had picked up the marshmallow instantly and they had eaten, they were always in the instant gratification and they were not doing so well in their life. And people who were waiting, who waited for that 1 hour, so they developed a chemical in the brain which told them to delay the gratification, work for what is more important, create the value system, move out of the fear, and then have it. And then when they were rewarded 2 marshmallows.
Right.
So at the end, they were always rewarded more. People who started to apply the delayed gratification. So that is how it started to work it out. So everything instantly, it doesn't work. So in India, we get instant noodles. It says that 2 minutes instant noodles, still it takes 10 minutes to cook.
I know. I know about that. Yeah.
So that's
I see.
right.
So the instant gratification is the temporary wave, and the delayed is the permanent tree.
It will never work. Delayed gratification is something that has always worked. It will always work because that's how the brain is designed to be.
I see. Well, another chapter in the book you talk about is do not constipate yourself with the knowledge. What is that all about?
That's one of the something very interesting. That's the 3rd chapter. So I met him in the year 2002. I think maybe June, July. I met him, and a few weeks later, he started to give me books to read. At that time, I did not have a job. I was not earning, so I used to borrow books from him. So I made a commitment. I will come to Mumbai. It is 5-hour train journey. I'll come to Mumbai. I'll borrow books from you, read it, and come back and give it and replace it. So that was a commitment. So I used to borrow 4-5 books, come and thin books, 100 pages, 120 pages. So I used to come read, and I used to continuously keep reading books. I was returning. And slowly, when I got a job and I started to earn, I started to have my own collection. And he was observing, Shyam was observing that. And after 2.5 years of reading books, he comes to me and says, Prantik, don't constipate yourself with the knowledge that you have. And he's a one-liner person. And he kept quiet. He said nothing else. Oh, he wants me to spread the information, not to just keep it to yourself. So whatever I used to read, I used to go to my job and inform my friends that this is something I read, this is something very interesting. I think we should implement this in the office. I think you should implement it in your own life. I went and did that. During the weekends, I went to my friends, I spoke to them, and few of them, they implemented and they liked it. And what happened is, whatever book I was reading, I was translating or rather transcripting in my own way, the way I have understood. And I felt that this is the way my friends will understand. I used to rephrase it in a different way, in a language that they will understand. And they implemented, they liked, and they started to call me to different clubs, different institutions to do some sessions. After my job, I used to go and do that. And I liked the stage, and that created the entire career. So with that one,
I was just going to ask. Oh, I see. Okay, that's where your high performance coach
my
career began.
coaching career started. So,
Wow,
so
okay.
from that one line of don't constipate yourself with the knowledge that you have, this is the entire career got built up.
Wow. Okay, you never know how things are playing out in your career, eh?
Submit to a mission, right?
Yes, that's absolutely
Listen to
right.
the mentor.
Yeah. Yeah. You talk about a lot of meaningful skills that makes a fulfilling life. So being productive, finding a goal, gratitude. There are a lot of things in the book. What do you ensure that how do you ensure that you always have the best day because you do one skill or one tactic? It could be journaling, meditating, working out, gratitude practice. Is there something that you make sure that you always do in any given day so that you can say that doesn't matter how the day was, I did this, that means my day was well spent? Do you have something like that?
Two things.
Okay.
My book reading and gratitude.
Okay.
I may not do anything else, but these two things I really, even if I'm not writing, okay, I just close my eyes and just say gratitude to this whole beautiful day. And then so these are the two things I ensure I do every day. I do not sleep a single day without reading a page. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
That's something, because no matter what has happened, books stimulate me beautifully. The books give me that energy. So that helps me a lot. So these are the two things I do.
How do you think people can find something like that for themselves? Do you think it's something that you have to do trial and error? There's a dog behind you, eh?
You could hear that?
I could hear that, yes. That was a loud dog.
Okay. Yeah, my puppy.
No, that's okay. Yeah, so what I was asking was, how do you think people can find something like that for themselves? That this is what I want to do, that will prime my day, and doesn't matter how the rest of my day goes, my day is well spent because I did this XYZ. Is it just trial and error? Or is that something that we all have and we just need to find it?
We all have we all like something or the other. Like some people like exercises a lot, some people like reading, like people like me, I love to read. Few people love to listen to music. So there are a lot of things. So if I have to just give one set of formula kind of thing, you can just divide your whole 1 hour into 20 minutes, 3 minutes. This I practice for a very long time is 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of meditation, 20 minutes of book reading. So mind, body, soul is taken care, continue.
I see.
So body is taken care by exercise, the soul is taken care by meditation, the mind is taken care by the books reading. So mind, body, soul is taken care by just these three activities early in the morning. Now, if there is lack of time, then you can do it any point of time, okay? But do all these three things just for 20 minutes on a daily basis. It will stimulate in a different way. Now, apart from that, you can listen to music, you can do something else, like I write poetry also. So that's once a while, once a month, maybe I sit for 1 or 2 hours. I sit with some thoughts, or once a week, all of a sudden, if I get some stimulating ideas, I write those. So there are a lot of things. I highly recommend people to have hobbies, because people dry off from their hobbies and they feel so suffocated inside. I highly recommend.
I see. Okay. So sometimes you need to try a few things and see what sticks.
Yes, what sticks.
I see. Okay. Now you run your own coaching program, so you are mentors to others. You learned a lot from your mentor Sham. Do you? I know you said that there are a lot of similarities, but do you see any differences in styles of how you mentor versus how he mentors his students? Do you see a difference in the way you teach?
Obviously, there will be difference because Sham speaks from one personality. Okay, he has understood certain things and he speaks. Now, when he speaks, he speaks from his personality. Like, for example, if I talk about the elements, his element is the water element. He speaks very softly. He speaks very empathetically, and my element is air, who is fast, who is quick, who is a bit aggressive. So this is my personality comes in my speech. Now, when it comes
Okay.
to coaching one to one, then yes, there's a combination of air and water. But I also speak very softly during my one to one coaching. During my workshops, when it's a group workshops I conduct, so there is a different element that plays. So I'm a fire and air at that time. So I'm highly energetic at that time. Right? So they're a different thing. So the style of coaching is very, very different.
Okay.
Very different. Sham coached me majorly on the business aspect. Okay, in that business aspect, there were some beautiful life lessons. I purely teach on life skills.
I see.
I
Okay.
don't do typical business coaching. So I do life
Okay.
skills.
Okay.
So that's why there will be a difference.
I see. When you talked about the elements, you're talking about the book elements and the five elements that you mentioned in the book.
Yes.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And everybody is one type of an element. Just you were born with it.
Yeah, we have all the five elements within us, but one element influence will be higher than the others. So the element whichever is higher within you, the influence of it, your behavior, your pattern, your thinking, your feeling aspect will be all congruent to that element.
Okay. I see. So that will set you apart from somebody else.
Yes, in a way.
I see. I see. Okay. You said that your coaching techniques are purely on life skills. So do you teach at student level at college level, or do you also coach in the corporate world?
Both students I teach from ninth grade and above, like 13 or
Oh, you
14.
do.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
I see. Okay. Okay.
Because as we mentioned earlier, the students nowadays are into that instant gratification. So they are stuck with their mobiles, they are stuck with their video games. So reading books is very slow, which is not kicking the right amount of
Right.
dopamine in their brain. So they are feeling very bored. So this is where my entire training program starts.
I see. I was going to ask you that because let's say a ninth grader right now was born in 2000, maybe, 2010, maybe 2009. So they were raised in this world of social media.
Yeah.
So is that the most common challenge that you see among these students, that it's mainly instant gratification, or do you see other challenges that is very common among everyone?
One is instant gratification, and the other common challenges are continuously going on, like comparison. Now the comparison has been very high.
But that's also because of social media.
All because of social media. So now earlier my comparison, as I mentioned at the beginning of the talk, my comparison was, oh, they have good bikes, I have got a cycle, they have car, I have got a bike. So that was a comparison. Now they're
Right.
comparing with, oh, I've got 10,000 followers, you have got only 2,000 followers. So that
Right.
self-esteem is attached with the number of followers. Plus what kind of social media coverage they are getting. Okay, their pages are being
That
liked,
changes it.
posts are being liked, and
Yeah.
for somebody's posts are not being liked. There are not number of likes. So many things.
I see. Okay, okay. That makes sense because it's not something that somebody who was born in the 90s was facing when they were in ninth standard.
No, I
Whereas
mean,
somebody.
comparison, distraction has always been persistent in our culture.
Sure. Right, right, right. It's just the
Always.
means of it has changed.
Means has changed. Earlier, if you remember, people who had TV. Okay, so in India there was one home where there was a TV. All the other children on Sunday morning will come and sit in front of that TV to watch Ramayana.
Right.
Right. So see, TV was a prestigious thing. So now the comparison was, oh, they have TV, we don't have TV. They are so lucky.
Right.
That was a comparison. And before that, somebody who had a cycle or radio was very rich. Okay, distraction still
Fair enough.
was existing. Comparison was still existing.
I see. Okay. Just the means have changed now.
Means have
Okay. Hey, quick pause. If you're enjoying this episode and getting value out of these conversations, I have a small favor to ask from you. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcast or Spotify or anywhere else, I would greatly appreciate if you leave a 5-star review. It's going to help more people discover this show. And if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to my channel and drop a comment with your thoughts. I would love to hear your take as well. So let's keep these conversations going. All right, back to the episode. Now, I know that you have created a career out of this, but you are also human. So I know for a fact that there must be some questions that you constantly ask yourself to ensure that you are living the life that is aligned with your purpose. Are there specific questions you ask yourself that allow you to bring it back into the right balance if you are swaying one way or the other, that you constantly have to remind yourself that this is my purpose, not this direction? What are those questions?
One thing is any like there are a lot of business opportunities that keep coming to me. Many of them, they want me to be their business partner or get involved with them in the business. And for every entrepreneur, their business idea is the best idea. So whenever I see such opportunities, I just go back to my theme. I leave people better than found. So that's my theme.
Okay.
So is this aligned to my theme? Because that is the theme of my life. So is it aligned? Okay. Now, is it something that is worth putting my time? And if I put my time in this, time, money, energy, all into this, will it distract me from the current work that I'm doing?
Okay.
So
that's how you gauge it.
That's how I gauge, because I just don't get involved. I just don't get excited for anything. I get very happy, but I don't get excited for getting involved into it all the time, because it has to align me with the theme. So that's how I just balance that. I get lot of ideas. I get like, for example, I had created 2 cartoon characters and thought of creating a lot of stories using those 2 cartoon characters. So I was very excited with that project in my mind. And it was just before lockdown, or the lockdown had just the first phase had stopped.
Okay.
That time I had created this. So I went to my mentor. I showed him. He saw everything, sab kuch, and that's nice, Prantik. So what is your plan? So I said all the plan. Okay, fine. What is the revenue plan? Well, not much. So I showed him some. Pause it for 3 years. He just said one line. Pause it for 3 years. I was so excited for that. Okay, he said pause it for 3 years. I asked why. Look, if I answer your why, but are you committing that you will pause it for 3 years? Well, yes. And he said that your business, okay, I had started a new program. So that program is about to get built up. So create a strong foundation of that program. This will distract you from that program that you have recently started. So I paused it. It's still there.
I see.
So it is still inside the cupboard. I'm not using it. So whenever the time is right, I'll ask my mentor again, and then I'll build it up.
I see. Okay. So that's a theme that you think everybody should have, that you keep one theme for yourself and then always ask, does it align with that? If no, that's not the direction you're going in.
And even with all the ideas, I still go to my mentor. That has never stopped, because I can't see my own blind spots. I myself, I need a mentor.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's true. Before I ask you my last question, can you tell everyone where people can find you, the books, your social media platform, any upcoming events that you might be having?
Okay, so books, Amazon and Flipkart, they are available. So Amazon.com, Amazon.in, everywhere is available. Both the books are available. Then Instagram, simple, Prantik Panigrahi, Panigrahi. You put it, so you'll see me. That is the name everywhere. Prantik Panigrahi on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. So I write a lot of blogs. So my website, you can visit liveinspired.com, LIVEINSPIRRED. It's inspired with double R. So you can just log in. There are a lot of blogs. And there is a small discover yourself quiz also. You can just enjoy that quiz to know your own element. So that's a beautiful thing. And so all these things. And I keep doing a lot of small posts on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. So keep watching.
Okay, I'll leave all the links for that in the show notes for this episode. One last question. Where do you spend your mental energy right now? Or something that you used to spend it on, but now you have gained the wisdom that you don't need to spend that mental energy on, and you have stripped away that identity and you don't need to spend that energy anymore. Has that happened in the last few years?
From last 2024, March 2024. So 12th of March 2024, I started to write my books. So I wrote 2 books parallelly, and I got so engrossed, so happy, so enthusiastic about writing books. So 15 December, I launched my 2 books. 17 December, I started to write my 3rd book. So earlier when I used to spend a lot of time sitting in coffee shop, reading books, being the me time, alone time that I used to spend. So my me time, that good time, is now getting spent in writing my books. So the 3rd book is getting launched in the month of March.
Wow. What's it called?
It will be called as Khulja Simsim.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Khulja Simsim. So something very interesting. So that will come up in March. And once I finish this writing, there will be the 4th book and 5th book coming up continuously.
Oh my God. Okay, you are busy.
There's a series of around 7 or 8 books that are there in my mind, which I'm writing it. So all the time is in my book writing.
I see. Nice. That's very nice. Thank you very much for coming on this show. It was an amazing conversation, and I hope my listeners liked this conversation as much as I did. So thank you.
Thank you so much.